US versus Venezuela. From Cold War shadows to a modern standoff. Once allies in oil and trade, the United States and Venezuela have become bitter adversaries, and today, the tension feels sharper than ever. A brief history. Venezuela was once a key oil supplier to the US, but relations soured in the early 2000s under Hugo Chavez, who aligned with anti-US governments and accused Washington of imperialism. Over the years, sanctions, attempted coups, and accusations of election interference hardened the divide. When Nicolas Maduro took power in 2013, economic collapse and accusations of authoritarianism only deepened the rift. The latest flashpoint. Fast forward to September 2025. The US Navy has now carried out 2 strikes on boats it claims were moving drugs for Venezuelan-linked gangs. 14 people were killed. Washington calls it a counter-narcotics mission. Caracas calls it an illegal act of war. Maduro responded with massive military exercises, deploying warships, aircraft, and militia forces across the Caribbean. At the same time, Venezuela's parliament approved a strategic treaty with Russia, a move analysts say could bring Moscow closer to America's doorstep. Diplomatic breakdown communication between Washington and Caracas is all but frozen. Yet Maduro has offered direct talks with US envoy Richard Grenell, while President Trump has warned Venezuela to accept deported prisoners or face an incalculable price. Why it matters? This is more than a regional spat. The Caribbean is a vital shipping corridor, and Venezuela holds some of the world's largest oil reserves. Sanctions and energy politics have already rocked global markets. And with Russia now in the mix, this crisis has echoes of the Cold War, raising fears of proxy conflicts in the Western Hemisphere. The road ahead, will both sides step back, or are we watching the first moves in a deeper confrontation? Analysts warn that one miscalculation, one strike too far, could ignite a wider crisis. For now, the world waits. And so do we, tracking every development, every maneuver, and every statement. Subscribe, stay informed, and watch closely. Because the story of US versus Venezuela is still being written, and the next chapter could change the balance of power in the Americas.